So, I've been hammering DriveClub for the past few weeks and I have a lot to say about this game. A few weeks and 2 months after launch, you heard me say? Yes, I was busy with life. I only got to play it now, but enough of that rubbish, onto the review. DriveClub is the exclusive to PlayStation 4 arcade-style social racer. Social racer meaning that this is the game you play with a bunch of friends online, of which the concept seems pretty neat. It's a mixture between simulator and arcade racing, simulator in terms of handling and arcade elements in the sense of events. However, I never really got the differentiation between the two down. Anyways, you have a variety of beautifully modeled cars to speed around very scenic tracks in different areas around the globe, all before DLC, which adds more cars and tracks, which seems like a pretty decent package if you ask me. DriveClub is a visually stunning game, and you can clearly see that a large glove of polish was put into the visuals for the game. The cars have exceptional modeling detail and textures, from the roof lines all the way to their tires. The sense of speed you can achieve with the cars is immersive, and each car has their own handling characteristics to even little nuances as well. The cars even show dirt and condensation on their bodywork dependent on the environments that they're in. The weather update, which I recently got into, is hands down the best dynamic weather system I've seen in a video game to date. From rain to snow, high visibility, low visibility, water droplets behavior, even how the cars get dirty within the weather is all part of that detail to which DriveClub is pulled off so elegantly despite the fact that it only runs at 30 frames per second. To speak of tracks, the tracks have also received that polish and care that the cars have also received. The tracks feel alive with gusts of wind, debris, and even confetti from the large crowds who cheer you on your way to victory. The track designs are quite lovely, and you never really feel like you're on the same track because the layouts change significantly. The tracks are beautiful in many aspects, especially within the weather department, which is simply sublime. There's even instances where the visibility from the weather will be so bad that you have to tread carefully on the tracks, otherwise you're gonna have a bad time. I've been longing for a game that has had mountain passes, drives on beautiful backcountry roads, and DriveClub has delivered just that. Evolution Studios has done a fair bit of work to their game sound as well. The car sound samples are great, and little details like blow-off valves, turbo spools, transmission winds have all been taken into account. Hell, even DSG farts are in the game. The onboard microphone for the interior views is spot on, as well as the muffling of the engine and exhaust is done right. Even under hard braking within the interior view, you can hear the tires struggling to maintain grip as you halt your car. That's a nice job you've done there, Evo. Even the sounds on the track environment have been taken into account. Whether you're on a field or snowy mountain, it sounds like you're actually there, wind noise and all. And I really think that Evolution's sound design team deserves a round of applause. Evolution has really given some attention to the sound department. The recently added photo mode is pretty good, and you can get some pretty good shots out of it with all the main camera parameters implemented. I love this photo mode, and I can only imagine it getting more powerful. And it really makes me wonder what Evolution Studios has planned for their new replay future, which is going to come in future updates. I meant to say feature. I'm messing up today, but one take is all I'm going to do. Anyways, the DriveClub offline tour is pretty decent, with you having to earn cars by completing events and earning fame points, as well as driving different cars. The AI felt pretty decent most times, and the AI will have you battle to get into first at times, but other times you'll be in first place and the AI will just decide, you know what, let's just gun it and I'll pass you. This is dependent also on difficulty settings as well, and I found that the legend difficulty will give you a real workout and test your skills. And since there's no tuning in DriveClub, it's really just you, your car, and driving skills to rely on. I found the offline tour quite nice, as it does keep you entertained, and there can be some challenging events like the Venom Hot Lap. That was quite challenging. and it has some nice length to it, and the addition of face-offs where you challenge other players' feats in certain events is cool, and it gives more challenge to the races as well. The online challenges and joining of clubs is pretty neat, and it does keep you busy as well. What's nice is that you don't need PSN Plus in order to join clubs or do challenges online. You only really need it if you're gonna do the online multiplayer. The online multiplayer and club events are pretty good. And now I tried this a month after launch, so there's been some work on the servers and it's starting to work better now. But that's the thing, DriveClub has been advertised as the online social racer, so it really focuses on that aspect of doing things online. The season pass is now available, but while I don't usually buy season passes, DriveClub has some pretty good meat and price for the season pass, and the content justifies itself. 370 Rand, or put that in your own currency, for 176 new tour events, 38 new cars and 80 new liveries seems to be good meat and potatoes. There's even some free DLC as well, and some free game updates are coming as well, which is pretty fair I rate. Another thing I especially enjoyed in DriveClub is that this game has a great sense of speed. If you're going 200 kilometers an hour, it feels like you're going 200 kilometers an hour. The pace is lovely and the racing can get really intense because of that. It really is that entertaining. However though, this game does have some bad points. The cars in DriveClub lean more to simulator handling style, but I really question the physics of DriveClub sometimes. The cars in many instances feel so stiff and very unresponsive, as if I'm steering a boat or something fierce. Cars will often understeer, and many times you will get snap oversteer, with which some cars with low steering response can be really annoying to correct. Another thing is, why is traction control forced on? I'd like the option to turn it on or off along with the stability controls. However, with regards to physics, I suspect that within the game updates as of late, Evolution has tweaked some of the physics, but I really think that they need to be a bit more loose and more responsive. This will make a huge difference, particularly for drifting. The servers for the online have been trashed and are still buggy at the time I reviewed this, which really hurts the online experience for DriveClub, which has its main focus on. They're a lot better than before, but there still needs to be work that has to be done to them. I'm not so much of an online person, but damn, this is buggy. I respect the fact that Evolution is taking time to fix this and actually let us know what's going on, but DriveClub was advertised as a predominantly online game, which is kinda bad considering the bad online at launch. But kudos to Evolution to actually fixing this and actually giving us some free extra content as a method of apologizing. The car roster is very European based with the exception of 2 American cars thus far, the Hennessy Venom GT and Corvette Stingray. I honestly think that Evolution should have at least added like 30 cars that are from Japan and America, because people from around the world are playing DriveClub. So why do we only have cars from one area, which is Europe? But take what I just said with a pinch of salt though, because the DLC car packs planned may say otherwise. Like for example, the Corvette Stingray in the Redline expansion pack. It was really annoying to have to unlock some cars by joining a club and having one car, the Ferrari and Hyperclass, only to be unlocked for use in multiplayer only. Why was that done? The unlocking of cars by playing through the tour is enough, and even after completing the tour, getting fame points to unlock the last remaining cars really is a chore. The unlocking of cars should have been balanced out a little bit more. While on the topic of cars, the car sounds are also an issue. I find myself plenty of times having to crank up the volume on my speakers to really hear the car sounds, whereas in other online racing games I'd have to turn down my volume. The DriveClub car sounds are way too soft, even to hear things like DSG farts and blow-off valve sounds. Some cars like the 458 Italia and M3 GTS are quite prominent and tastefully loud, but I think the sounds for many other cars, if not all of them, need to stand out more and they need better emission. Like when you're in an open area, the sounds need to bounce off the hills and echo, even when you're in a I'm messing up today, but either way, when you're in a tunnel, the sound needs to bounce off the walls and it needs to echo. I have to really hear it. Also, why do the hot hatches kind of sound all the same, or is it just me? And the DriveClub offline tour, it is pretty decent and will keep you entertained, but the thing is, the tour feels linear and it does lag. I really think that they could have done more with it. Things like jewels and whatnot could have been great, but what really surprises me is the fact that despite DriveClub having mountain and backcountry based tracks, there's no toge mode. I really think that would have worked, especially with the online. And the facials could have used a little bit more meat for things like, let's say, highest jump, drafting, and other things too, which could have added to the face-offs. And lastly, why don't we have a car view of sorts? We have a photo mode, which is okay, but a dedicated car view, like an auto vista of sorts. The detail of the cars is amazing, and it took 7 months to model each car, so it would have been really nice to have a free viewing mode where you can hide the UI and still move it with the analog stick, and to appreciate the detail that was put in for the modeling of the cars. This would have been particularly nice for YouTubers because you can really create some pretty cinematic stuff for the videos, and especially with the replay feature coming soon in the future updates, this would be a real nice thing to have. Despite all the havoc with the online being broken at launch, DriveClub is a decent game. It could have been more, but it's decent. It really is a shame that the online broke because this game shouldn't be shunned. You had to go into it with the right expectations though. I mean, don't expect us to be a Gran Turismo, and it's not a Forza eater by any means. In fact, it's very reminiscent of PGR4. And DriveClub is merely this, it feels like a launch title. However, it is fun to play and my time with it has been great. Honestly, Evolution should have made it as a really great offline game first, then think about online second. And with rumors of DriveClub 2 coming about, I think that's a philosophy that they should follow and also improve on the formula that they already have. With more new features and content coming soon, I really hope that we get things like Japanese and American cars, better online, better handling, and maybe some new locations and new modes. But most of all, a proper replay feature is something that will be a great weapon for YouTubers posting DriveClub content. The big question is though, should you buy it? Yes, you should. If you want a fun and also racing game, then jam DriveClub. This is it. Pick up this game along with the season pass as well, and while it's still at a good price. The online is working better now and it's actually being fixed, so I think that this game shouldn't be shunned because of that. Anyways guys, that is my DriveClub review. If you enjoyed watching this and you enjoyed what I had to say, then please like, share, subscribe, do all of that YouTube jazz. And this is TayeedzSA here, and I shall be seeing you guys around. Peace and enjoy the holidays as well.